Hello everyone, this is It's All About Love, and my name is Anna for those who don't know me yet. So today you are going to continue talking about Mother Teresa, her legacy, everything she did extremely well. So in the last episode, in episode 14, we spoke about Mother Teresa up until 1979 when she got the medal, the World Peace Medal in 1979. And so today you are going to be talking about her after 1980s, the 1980s, and so you'll get more information of her, more knowledge of her. So for those who are interested in listening about Mother Teresa and knowing about her legacy, her life story, you can go back to my previous episodes, to watch her life and to hear about her. So today you are going to, like I said and I repeat, to talk about her after 1980s. So throughout 1980s, awards and honors were growing. They were endless, so many. And for instance, in 1980, Mother Teresa became one of the only three women, Indian women ever to have been honored with an official reception within the ramparts of Delhi historic Red Fort. And the President of India, I'm not sure if I'm right in the spelling, Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, gave her India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, or Jewel of India. So Mother Teresa also received the gold medal of the official Soviet Peace Committee in 1981. And in Italy, she received an honorary doctorate of medicine from Rome's Catholic University. And in 1983, the Queen Elizabeth II of England presented her with an insignia which would eventually find its way onto a statue of the Blessed Virgin. So she received endless honors, endless words from several parts of the world. Everyone, the presidents, the ministers, the prime ministers were giving her only just honors and awards. So, and the Queen of England gave her in 1983 and another insignia, and in 1985 the White House in the White House in the United States, President Reagan, Ronald Reagan, offered her or gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It was had a vital importance, this award, this medal. Ronald Reagan called her an heroine of our times. And in 1992, Mother Teresa also received the award of citizenship of Albania, which with a diplomatic passport by the Albanian president, Mr. Ramis Alia, who highlighted the importance of her receiving it because she once had to choose between visiting her dying mother and the poor of the world. That's for those who don't know what happened. Where a few years before, Mother Teresa's mother was dying, and the government of Albania didn't give her permission to visit her mother, and they gave her an ultimatum of visiting her mother and staying in the country, in Albania, or being with the poor of the world. And so Mother Teresa had an extremely difficult decision, but she decided to be with the poor of the world and not being with her mother. And I'm sure that she suffered immensely with this decision, but she had to take the decision that God had asked her to do, the plans that God had for her, to be the poor of the poor. And she knew that her mother as well knew that she had to put the poor before her mother. That's why she had to leave. She left her mother many years before, in 1918, to go to India because of the poor. And so she knew that her mother would understand if she chose to be with the poor of the poor around the world. But it was extremely difficult for Mother Teresa to do it, because she really wanted to be with her dearly mother. She died and she never saw her again. She never saw her since she left Albania in 1918. But this time she really wanted to be and see her, but she couldn't. But God knew, she knew, and the mother knew the reasons. That was for her what was the most important for her. So I spoke about this in previous episodes. If you want to check it, you can go back and see and watch the programs. So it was a difficult decision, in December of the same year, UNESCO in 1992 presented her an award to crown a life consecrated to the service of the poor. So UNESCO gave her, or presented her, one award in the words of crown a life. They said it was a crown a life consecrated to the service of the poor, to the promotion of peace, and to combating the injustice. Mother Teresa also received $50,000 to set up a home for people with special needs near Calcutta. And in 1993, she was recommended for the Papal Award, and in October 1994, she received the Youth Fund Peace Award for her selfless service to the humanity. It was countless, they were countless awards and honors she was receiving year after year. And in 1996, Mother Teresa became only the third person to be given honorary US citizenship for the way she had nursed the sick, cared for the poor, and shown through concrete actions how we can make real our dreams for a just and good society. So she was an example. She was an example for us to think and to believe, and to believe that you can achieve real dreams that you have for us, and especially for to have a good and just society. Yeah, always in good terms, always in good hopes and good hopes. Yes, many good hopes. So throughout the 80s, Mother Teresa was around the world, was well known. She was doing extremely well, going around the world and doing so much for people, for the poor. And so throughout the 80s, unauthorized books and authorized books about her works were being written around the world, and all seemed to touch the lives and hearts of people, of so many people, like I said, worldwide. The book Something Beautiful for God that Malcolm Muggeridge had written decades ago was being translated into countless languages for the world to know her life and what she was doing to the poor of the poor. So in 1980, Prince Charles visited Mother Teresa in Calcutta. He visited her works. Prince Charles saw the sisters preparing food for more than 7,000 people, and met some of the children in her care. So Prince Charles was very curious. He was very interested in Mother Teresa's works. And so he traveled to Calcutta, to India, to see what she was doing, to see what her sisters were doing to the poor of the poor. And so he saw that really she was doing extraordinarily well, feeding thousands and thousands of people, looking after children. She had on her care so many children. And so Prince Charles became moved by a baby, especially by a baby who had been found in a slum drain. And so Mother Teresa treated all royal visitors with the same natural warmth as the lepers and anyone else she saw around her. She was always, she could see, she saw, no matter who was, if it was rich or poor or anyone, she would look at them all the same, with the warm feelings, with the warm sensations towards them, and to warm care too towards them. And that was beautiful. So in the same year, Mother Teresa visited Skopje. The Skopje was the place where Mother Teresa was growing and born. And so for the second time, she visited that place. She visited that place in 1960s, and then she came again in the 80s to visit Skopje, the city. The Skopje, her nephew loves Gumba because she then, a brother had kids. Mother Teresa's brother had kids, and so her nephew was there in the city at that time. And described the day she arrived. And he said, in his own words about his auntie, he said, she arrived with a very small bag and politely refused their family's offer to buy new clothes. She was wearing 2 pairs of sandals. One of them was torn apart. The other was new. When her nephew asked her, "Why don't you wear the new ones?" Mother Teresa replied, "My journey is long, and long it shall be, my son. My journey is long, and long it shall be, my son. I have spared the new ones," she said. Wow, wow, wow. She was living a life of poverty too. She used to say, "I have to live this life to understand the poor. Otherwise I wouldn't understand." She could take the money that she was getting for the poor and use them for her own good, like many people would do. But she didn't. She was always giving to the poor, to the ones who needed so much. And she didn't care about what she was wearing. She wanted the own good of others. Wonderful. So her nephew also added that she only ate once a day. Once a day. Well, some people eat once a day or as well. But the majority of people eat few times a day. Some people may say that once a day is healthier than eating several times a day. And some other people say that eating several times a day is better than, or healthier than eating just once. But everyone has their own beliefs. They know best their bodies, and they do what they think is the best for them. But Mother Teresa understood that one meal a day was enough for her to let her go through the day. And she knew that she would eat just once a day because many poor would have just once a day meal because they didn't have more food. And so they would eat just once a day because of their poverty. There was no food around. And she knew and she believed that she could believe also like them, eating just once a day. And so when a nephew asked her why she was eating just once a day, she said, I don't need anything, she said. I don't need anything more than knowing that the poor in the world had something to eat today. What she wanted the most was this, to know that the poor in the world had something to eat. Wonderful. She was always concerned about the poor, about if they had eaten something, about sending money and food to the people around the world that didn't have anything to eat. And so she would eat just once a day. And as she was eating, I believe that maybe she was thinking, well, these people in this part of the world, that part of the world, are they eating enough now? I believe that probably that with money that I sent them and the food that we gave them, I believe that they are eating something, and I'm happy for that. Her thoughts were always on the poor. Were they well? Were they eating enough? Did they have enough food to eat? Or enough water to drink? Because Mother Teresa, if she wanted, she could eat as much as she could and drink, but she was not doing, because in her mind, the poor were above all everything. And that was beautiful. That was an action, an extremely altruistic action, a beautiful action. So Mother Teresa's fame did not bother her because she insisted in humility. Incredible. She insisted in humility. Wow, wow, wow. She was becoming so famous. Even after she received the Nobel Prize in 1979, the Nobel Peace Prize. She became so more popular and famous because of that. But she insisted in humility. She continued doing anything she could to help the poor, such as scrubbing floors, just as washing toilets, and cleaning the sick and dying. She continued being the same person as she was before she was not famous. And so a love for the rich and the poor was transparent, was so clean, was like water. When you look at water, you see, if it is clean water, you see that on the other side of the water, we can see everything that is on the side of the water. And so a love for the rich was transparent, was pure, was clean. There was no staining there. It was truthful, beautiful. Her role was to help the poor of the poor. And at the same time, she did not judge the rich for being rich. She could judge, like some people judge the rich, but she never judged the rich for being rich. Because she knew that the rich were rich for a purpose. She knew about this. And she had been rich in the early days of her life. She was rich. She knew what was being rich. She knew what was having everything. And she understood the rich people. They were here in the world for a purpose. She knew the story of Jesus. She knew that Jesus loved everyone. She knew that Jesus loved the poor and the rich. And she knew that Jesus had said once, the poor, you will have always the poor with you. But me, you won't have always, he said. And she knew that Jesus loved the rich too. So, I'm going to end this program today, and I hope you took something from this, even just a word. I hope you took and you embrace Mother Teresa legacy, like I did, like I do embrace a legacy Mother Teresa, because it's a great example for all of us to follow. You don't need to follow every step because you are all individuals, you have different purposes in life. But example, the goodness, her goodness, a generosity, a love and compassion for the world helps us to understand and to love the other more, a little bit more. To understand and appreciate what is the other who needs something. What are the vulnerable people who need something? We don't need, those ones who don't have food or drink or water to drink. But those ones who are maybe rich but are suffering spiritually, are suffering emotionally, are not loved enough. And so you think about all of this and you connect more with Mother Teresa, and you put more what you understand from her into action in our daily lives. That's what we are here for in this world. Well, thank you for now. I really appreciated you watching us. Thank you again.